right, Nick, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. And they have a very interesting slate this year, Nick. They're in the draft. They're right now about a mid round team as far as their current draft position, but they have an extra draft pick, Nick, that is quite up there. And we have a couple of picks for Seattle that we think would really fill this team out nicely. And we're going to get into that in just a moment. But, Nick, Pete Carroll, been with Seattle for forever. He's done a tremendous job on this almost immediate rebuild of losing Russell Wilson and a couple other key players, and keeping this team alive, making them very competitive. But I gotta ask Seattle fans, Carroll's been there for forever, but who has been your favorite coach of all time in Seattle's history? Got guys like Knox, Holmgren, Mora. Let us know in the comments below who has been your favorite coach of all time. But Nick, what do you think about the upcoming 2023 draft for the Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, because look, the Seahawks have had a good year, and of course, who knows what will happen down the stretch? They make a playoff run, they just missed out. There's a lot of games to be played, but we're all aware going into the season that the Seahawks, with the trade off Russell Wilson, they were planning to make big moves more next year. They're kind of a year ahead of schedule right now. So looking at the Seahawks mock draft right now makes a lot of sense to me if looking at where the Seahawks are going for the future. And I really was intrigued by the CBSSports.com mock draft because right now at number 3 overall, this is the pick they got for trading from Russell Wilson from the Denver Broncos. The Seattle Seahawks are slated to get defensive end edge rusher Will Anderson from Alabama. You talk about a trade paying off big time. Will Anderson, in my opinion, is the best overall football player in the 2023 NFL draft. This guy's an absolute stud, has been that way day one in Alabama, can rush the passer, can play the run, can make all kinds of big plays. You talk about a guy that can fix your defensive woes. I tell you what, Will Anderson joins this team, you're not giving up 45 points to the Detroit Lions. You're not giving up 39 points to the New Orleans Saints or 30 points to the Panthers or 40 to the Raiders. This defense goes from struggling to really good really quickly, especially when you pair that young secondary with guys like Woolen and Bryant. A pass rusher and dynamic defender on the front four will just be the exact pairing they need to turn this defense into struggling to dominant. And that's exactly what the Seahawks need. Miles, what do you think of this projection here by in this mock draft of them getting Anderson at number 3?
So far, I love that, Nick, because if you look at Seattle's weakness, obviously it's not the offense, it's more on the defensive side of the ball. In the trenches, they could really build their trenches and it would help them out a tremendous amount. So you look at guys like Anderson or Brees or Murphy from Clemson. Those are the guys I think fit into this team nicely. But if they can get Anderson, I think that is a surefire can't miss pick there. Nick, this guy is a tank. He's like 243 pounds, a powerful edge rusher. He led the country in pressures as a true sophomore. And I think he got like almost 40, 50 more pressures this year at Bama, Nick. This is at Alabama against top tier SEC opponents. This isn't cream puff football. He's doing it against some big time offensive linemen on the other side of the ball from him. So he's a true talent. Like you said, he's a stud. He's an instant game changer. And I think if Seattle plays their cards right and Anderson is able to fall to them from this pick they got from the Broncos, this could really change the team, Nick. But I also think possibly this next pick could do Seattle some good, very interesting pick as well. Almost another team-changing kind of pick here, don't you think?
Yeah, so CBS Sports has at 15, which of course is the Seahawks pick with their record. They have them taking Anthony Richardson, the quarterback prospect out of Florida. And prospect is the accurate word for Richardson because the dude is basically either Josh Allen, incarnate. He's the next Josh Allen, or he's Paxton Lynch. There's no middle ground. The guy has all the physical tools. The guy's just an absolute beast, can run, can throw, big, strong, tough guy. But he had problems with accuracy. He had problems with decision making and consistency. Very Josh Allen-esque coming out of Wyoming. Allen did a number of years ago. A lot of the same concerns, but a lot of the same tools as well. I actually really like this fit. I think this is a smart move from Seattle because one of the things moving off, Russell Wilson, getting those picks, Geno Smith has been outstanding, but at his age, how long can he keep this going? Can he play 4, 5, 6 years down the road? Getting a guy like Richardson, who's a developmental guy, by the way, he's not going to be a year one starter, day one starter. He probably isn't even a year 2 starter. If you let him sit the bench behind Geno Smith for a 1 year or 2 year, and then he competes for starting job, I think it could be huge for Seattle Seahawks. almost a little bit Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers ish kind of deal going on. I think that's the exact way. Getting a prospect like Richardson here, and I think it's a good fit in Seattle too. It kind of fits the tool set that he has. Richardson does with Richardson's mobility and deep ball. I think it just kind of fits what Seattle likes to do. I think this would be a really smart pick for Seattle. Obviously, it wouldn't help them in 2023 or 2024, but it could be massive for them long term in the future as they look beyond Geno Smith and more into the 2020s.
Yeah, Nick, and I think this is a great fit for the team overall. Because you look at a guy like Pete Carroll, some people throw around the term, QB guru, QB whisperer. There's a lot of great quarterbacks come through, especially in the college